Good morning, pregame crew. It is Thursday, June 23rd, 2022, 8:22 a.m. Eastern, 6:22 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm Charkow Lori. You're at the pregame show. What I'm going to do is rip through about 25 charts in 25 minutes. I will get started officially at 6:30. So if you look down here, 6:22 right now, if you want to fast forward, if you're tuning in later in the day you want to look at 6:30 for the meat and potatoes, go ahead. And between now and then, I'm going to do some housekeeping, make sure audio and visual is working, and say hello to my friends and answer a few chart requests. Good morning, Greg, Carlos, VNTC, Robert, Night Truck. I appreciate you, Night Truck. Hi, Maria, bonjour. Topher, Mal, Bobo, Dylan, Andre, number one brat. Are you Madison? Are you my daughter? I'm kidding. My daughter's not a brat. My number two is a brat. Hey, Gil, how are ya? Good morning. Are any of you already at the meetup? Are you there yet? I'm leaving in 2 hours. 3 hours, I'm heading that way. Thanks, Rob. Perfect. I appreciate that. Thank you, Roger. Hey, Mary. Alex, are we bullish? Hi, Jorge. Are we bullish? Well, I guess I got to answer that question today. We are range bound. How about that for a non-answer? I was a politician in a prior life. We are stuck between the FOMC high and then this lower low here at 3639, and we're range bound right now as we probe liquidity to the upside and to the downside, trying to get our feet underneath us. So I would say we're range bound right now. I want to look at something I haven't looked at in a while. What was volume like yesterday? Yeah, a little low. I was just looking at ES. So if you look down here on TradingView, you can see the volume and the average volume for the past 10 days, 110 million. So we're about 15% below normal. And you can see that on ES. When I go look at the 12-hour, do you see that? Look at this volume over here compared to here. A little apathy in the range. When we're range bound, this is a great time to talk about inside bars and volume. Look at this weekly inside bar. We are inside last week's range, which is not a surprise. That was FOMC high, so we had extremes. So we're stuck in the middle. Yesterday, we talked about an iron condor. If you did that iron condor, it's still working because we are range bound. And when you get range bound, people step away. So just think, throwing their hands up in the air and they just step away. That's what's happening. The bulls and the bears don't have an appetite for this middle of the zone. And what do I always tell y'all this is that Frogger game. So we have resistance up here and support down here. And when we're range bound, you're not going to find a lot of the professionals here in the middle. They're going to wait till these edges. That's where the max pain is inflicted on the most people. Bulls and bears is up at these outer edges of resistance and support. Hey, Dan, good morning. Hey, Jules. Hey, Scoops. Well, I hope to make it okay. Hey, C. Marino, welcome. Welcome to our tribe. Okay, I'm going backwards. Okay, let me go back. XLE. Oil looks all right. It's finally stopping the bleeding, but it's not great. We're inside yesterday's range. Yesterday, we had a very large range, and we're inside of that now with a 4-hour EQ. So that's oil. We can't look at XLE without looking at oil. So XLE is dependent on oil and the market. It's one of those weird animals, kind of like GDX. The gold miners, they're dependent on the market and gold. So you're waiting on two different correlations to line up the way that they should. So XLE, this is decent. What was the dividend amount on this? Probably low. No, 82 cents. We're stuck below the 4-hour EMAs. I like a bottom fish on XLE. Because remember, we're on these outer edges. So we had support at 72.60. And yesterday we hit 72.36. I'm treating this as a double bottom. So if we're down here at support, then I'm looking long. And then on a bounce up to resistance, I'm looking short. So I'm constantly weighing risk to reward and most likely scenario. So down here, my risk is pretty low near this double bottom. So you need oil to bounce, and you have oil inventory today, and I believe nat gas inventory today as well because it's a holiday week. So things are a little bit off schedule. Don't diddle in the middle. I like it. Okay. Somebody wanted Amazon, right? Thought I saw that. Yes, Bobo did. Okay. Bobo, I go over Amazon and Apple every morning. Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, and Tesla, I go over. And I'm noticing these little higher highs without a lot of follow through on Amazon, Apple, and Nvidia. They all got higher highs. They're all over the FOMC high. How are these big generals over the FOMC high and SPY isn't? Isn't that weird? We have banks holding us back. We have various sectors holding us back, but that is unusual. So these tiny higher highs, so if I take this head and shoulders off, you get these tiny higher highs without a lot of follow through. What do we normally start looking for? A rising wedge. And so I don't want to say I'm thinking because, well, y'all always want me to think, but I don't want to be guessing. But these tiny higher highs, one more tiny higher high without follow through, I'm going to be looking for a 5-minute downtrend pattern change to the downside to short, because this is not looking constructive, these higher highs without follow through. Lots of rising wedges out there. Look at Apple. Let me take this head and shoulders pattern off. Look at this. We're over that FOMC high. In typical Apple fashion, we broke a resistance and then we came back down. Good morning. Hey, Charles. Hey, Slow Devil. You're not allowed to sell options, Slow Devil? Okay. Roblox. We'll get started in 1 minute. Roblox is over the FOMC high. Everything I'm looking at, y'all, I want to go short. And it could be a bias, I'll admit that. We're running into the underside of the daily 50 MA. I'm adding this to my list as a short right here. This is a short against 31.94. Above $32, I'm wrong. Oh, Wiggly Worm, that's very nice. Good morning, Ricky. Yep, Powell will be speaking. Okay, last one because you asked nicely, VNTC. Magic, USDT. So I'm guessing it's Polynex. I didn't know that was still a thing. How is that a thing? I don't know where all the volume is. Okay, I'll go with this one. Yeah, this is only 70,000 volume. I don't know if this is right. You got 4-hour inside bars. I don't like it. We have jobless claims that just are coming in right now. Every Thursday we get jobless claims. It's not the big ADP or the non-farm payrolls, but it's still jobless claims and data nonetheless. You got 4-hour inside bars, hourly EQ. Y'all ready to get started? Let's get going. Good morning. I'm Chargal Lori. This is who I am. You can give me a follow on Twitter at Chargal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community and we teach technical analysis. What I do here every morning to the best of my ability is I go over the indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day, and here are all my notes. My goal is not to read to you like you're a kindergartner. These are notes to keep me sane, which is kind of questionable, but to keep me linear and get all my details, the things that I want to say to you today. So I copy and paste these notes when I'm done to the TCG chat room so they can slice and dice them as they see fit. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below in the video description to receive a PDF explanation. One last favor, if you could hit that like button, I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps those YouTube algorithms that sometimes aren't so nice despite us putting all of this work in. Sorry, that kind of looked like a diamond pattern for a second. I'm constantly thinking about charts. Even when I'm talking to you about non-chart things, I'm thinking about charts. So this is the most prominent pattern we have. Why did I do graffiti on the volume? Y'all knew that was going to happen, didn't you? Y'all have seen me do that way too much. Okay, where are you, volume? Move to new pane below. Okay. It's not normally this painful to watch me chart, but sometimes it is. All right, so this 12-hour pattern is our most prominent pattern for me, and it's on 3 of our Fab 4 indices. We have this 12-hour inverse head and shoulders, which is typically bullish. Let's pretend like we don't care about patterns. We think they're stupid. We don't care about patterns. Then what? We are stuck between the FOMC high and the swing low of 36339. As long as we're stuck in that pattern, we're going to have the declining bull volume because we're in a weekly inside bar. There is a pretty decent probability that we stay inside this week, which is kind of nice. If we could stay inside next week and then break the following week, next week, that would lead for just some nice volatility. The more range bound we are, we get these squeezes. What time frame was I on? I just saw that, the 4-hour. You see that these black are the absence of color here. This is the TTM squeeze, and we have bull momentum histograms over that 0 line. And the TTM squeeze measures compression. The more we go sideways, Jason likes to call it the anaconda. We start squeezing and compressing. And the more compression we get, the more explosion to the upside or downside. But either way, we won't follow through as traders. If you're a long-term investor, of course, you want it to go up. But the 12-hour inverse head and shoulders is the prominent pattern here. You can see it here on ES, NQ, and YM. RTY did not join the party. RTY, this lower low at 1713 is too low. It's too far away from the neckline to be considered an inverse head and shoulders. So on RTY, we have an EQ pattern. This is Russell rebalancing time. Friday, tomorrow, they'll come out with more names they're adding to the index fund, and then Monday they'll publish their final list. It's not something you necessarily need to know, but if you see your growth names outperforming, that's possibly wise because RTY is adding them to their fund. Every time I see a message, I have to stop and go look at it in TCG. Oh, got delayed. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mello. So Mello is telling me that the oil inventory got delayed. It will be tomorrow. Thank you so much for that. And that is the beauty of being in a community. I don't have to be all eyes and ears. Look at that. I've got friends and they are eyes and ears everywhere. And together we find good trade setups. All right. So RTY is a little bit weaker than the other 4. Let's look at VIX. VIX 12-hour is not clear at all. On the 4-hour, we got a lower low, but if you keep kind of scrolling in, zooming in, we're getting that lower low without a lot of follow through. One more lower low without follow through. This could be a falling wedge. VIX is notorious for falling wedges that break bear, which typically break bull, but on VIX, bear, because VIX tends to trend down because typically it leaves the market just as fast as it entered the market, which that has not been the case this year. Fear has stayed. So this falling wedge could break bull. So we remain open to both possibilities. So on VIX, this could be a falling wedge. I'm watching this hourly 8 EMA like a hawk. And this is how I trade. I set alerts. I don't have to be everywhere at looking at every chart all the time. The alert system in TradingView is my assistant. And that is a very cheap assistant to look at all these charts for me at the same time. So I don't have to. And then I have all of these, look at all these alerts. I'm constantly cleaning them up as well. And they're telling me what's going on with charts so I don't have to look at it. Yes, you can. You can wiggly worm, but I don't do things the easy way. Yes, that is a way to do that. It's kind of like my kids. Like when I go to the phone and I go to camera, I open it and then I go to camera and they're like, Mom, all you have to do is pull it down and hit it. All right. So those are the indices thoughts. Now I have a few more things to say. Pattern recognition. This is the question we get asked the most. And honestly, I ask more questions than anyone in our chat room. Dan can attest to that. And I would constantly, is this a cup and handle? Is this is this an inverse head and shoulders? Is this a scallop pattern? Is this a bleh? Whatever. Vomitus of the mouth. Constantly asking about pattern recognition. Here is a secret. I'm going to let you in on a secret. You don't have to know what the pattern is. As a newer trader or an inconsistently profitable trader, you need to focus on price action. Price action, price action, price action. It will set you free. Now, if you're good at these things, I love these things, these auto stereograms, the magic eye pictures where you stare at them and it jumps out at you. That's how trading will develop for you. You're going to be looking at these things, and this thing in this case is a chart, and the pattern will jump off the page at you. So if you're good at those auto stereograms, then you're probably good at pattern recognition. But don't worry, even if you're not good at those patterns or those pictures, you will get good over time. It just takes hours staring at charts, learning, studying, analyzing, thousands of hours, and you get better over time. So I'm going to shorthand this game for you. And it's not a game, but this profession or this process or whatever you want to call it. This is the order in which I focused when I first started. So I know this from experience. The first thing you do as a newer trader, start searching for the holy grail. What indicator are you using? What indicator? Thinking that it's going to be just magic and rain down money from the sky. It's not how it happens. Price action is more important. Identifying a billion patterns on one chart. I see a falling wedge in the RSI. I see a cup and handle in the price action. Great. Wonderful. Tell me about those trends. Tell me about the price action trends. Drawing a fib on anything that will stand still and then chasing the next shiny thing. Oh, what's this low float? Kirkland's yesterday. Okay, it's Revlon. Okay, and just constantly chasing all of these different charts, and they have different styles. You have to know how they move, and the only way to know how they move is study them and back test them. So this is what the focus should be. All right? If you're still with me or I've bored you to death, wake up now. Price action, identifying trends, identifying when something's going sideways in an equilibrium, and then say, okay, the preceding trend was up, so I'm going to position myself within this equilibrium to the bull side since the preceding trend was up and the market is up, and just focusing on that price action. Price action is up. We're confirming trend changes to the upside or to the downside. And then focusing on trading plans. That's literally one of the last things I added to my toolkit when I was first starting. It should have been one of the first things. People come in the room all the time. Should I sell? Should I sell? Should I sell? Well, what was your plan when you entered? You have to have a plan before you enter. Participating in the post-mortem, analyzing all trades. It's so tedious, and people want to shy away from this and avoid doing this because it feels like you're doing housekeeping and janitorial work, but it's so important to go back and analyze. I know what days I trade better. I know what times of the day I trade better. I know what type patterns I trade better. Price action. Commodities. I know I trade NG and oil better than I trade gold. You have to know those things. Focusing on a few charts at a time. You're still with me? Okay. Focusing on a few charts, names, backtest them. There are charts that respond to these weird EMAs, like a 34 or 89 or whatever. You have to know your chart and say, okay, that hourly 50 EMA is really working well on Boeing. Okay, I know that. So Boeing's in my toolkit. Focus on a few charts. Get to know them inside and out, like NEO. Dan identified with NEO the first 15 minutes. The market makers can't keep up. And then the orders just stack. And then you'll see explode to the upside or downside because it paused those first 15 minutes. Well, if you're trying to trade NEO, you have to know that. And then identifying trend days versus balance days. So yesterday was a balance day. And by balance day, this is what I mean. Look at yesterday's action. We responded positively yesterday morning. Then Powell started talking and came down. Do you see how we're still stuck within that FOMC range? That's not a trend day. Look at this downward action here. That's a trend day. That was FOMC, or day after FOMC. That is a trend day. Identifying a trend day versus, Lord forgive me, a chop day. I can't stand that word. A sideways day versus a trend day, and being able to use market internals and identify that is a skill to hone in on. So Powell is speaking, I think I already said that. Hang Seng was up, the DAX is slightly down, and I can't ascertain any information from that. High of FOMC reaction. As long as the resistance is in place, bulls aren't going anywhere, like nowhere, okay? And here's the ES key levels. And I think I shared with the chat room yesterday, or when I was live in TCG midday, is that whenever I go in a slump or I lose my flow state, I go back to ES. I go back to futures and I focus on ES, and I have to prove to myself I'm back in flow state, I'm back being consistently profitable, and then I can venture out to my other charts that I typically trade. But focusing in on one chart and getting to know those levels intimately, it will help you become more successful and get you out of ruts. All right, RTY, we talked about, it's weaker. Bitcoin and Ethereum have potential rising wedges. You're welcome. Okay, looks like it's breaking bear right now in Bitcoin. I drew this earlier this morning. Bitcoin, potential rising wedge. Ethereum, potential rising wedge. And these are bearish patterns. It looks like they broke that. Yeah, we broke that 1123 on Ethereum. And on Bitcoin, we were unable to get over the 2873. Oh, what a great example. Okay. Bitcoin was unable to get through 20873. Ethereum was able to get through, but it doesn't matter. If Bitcoin can't through, it's going to get through that resistance. It's going to drag down Ethereum. So that happens all the time with QQQ and SPY. We talk about those correlations. If QQQ, the big mama jamma, if it can't get through resistance, it lowers the probability that SPY can get through resistance. And that's what happened with crypto right there. Price action, someone wanted me to just talk about what I mean by price action. Let's look at price action. If I haven't lost y'all, where are we with silver? Uptrend, and we lost the uptrend. You see how we lost the higher lows? That is a downtrend. Actually, so on silver, I do this every morning, by the way, monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, hourly, 15-minute. What is the trend? Price action. What is it? Well, I'll answer this for you right now. Down. Weekly, down. Daily, down. 4 hour, down. Hourly and 15-minute, down. That's pretty simple, isn't it? You stay with the trend. So silver down. It could have changed from 2 hours ago. We do have a downtrend in weekly, but we could get an EQ if we hold this 2042. But do you see how we're losing the higher highs to here? Lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, and down. That's what I mean by price action. Being able to just say that, say it higher low, lower high, lower low, higher high. Being able to identify those price action is so key for your trading. Let me go look at ETH. So with silver is a great example to study right now. It's downtrend on all time frames. Okay, you want to know, is Ethereum an inverse head and shoulders? Yes. Potential inverse head and shoulders. And you'll notice we choose our words carefully. We say potential until it's confirmed. Got to get over 1257, break that neckline in order to be confirmed. 1257 in order for the 12-hour inverse head and shoulders. And we can watch Ethereum and Bitcoin and say, okay, if they break their neckline before NASDAQ does, it could be a good clue that the market's going to follow. Okay, so I did all that. I'm going to go to gold. I just want to stop real quick and go to the heat map. So this is the market carpets. A lot of people call it the market carpet heat map. And so you see this bright red down here is -3%. The bright green is +3%, everything in between. And you can look at your sectors: consumer defensive, XLY, discretionary, communication, technology, semiconductors, and you can see who's performing, who's not performing. You hover over it and it will show you the names in that sector and how they're performing. So you can kind of get an idea of who's leading the market today. The reason I bring this up, this is yesterday's market carpet. This is yesterday's heat map. Okay, Mylene, I think I just covered what price action is. That's higher low, lower high. That's what I mean. And we have a ton of videos. We have free videos and we have paid videos, courses. If you want to check us out at Chart Guys. So the reason I bring up yesterday's heat map is semiconductors continue to lag. What do I say here every week? Semiconductors are the fuel to the market engine. We need the semiconductors to step up in a leadership role in order for the market to get through the FOMC high. Let me say that again. We need semiconductors to step up in the leadership role in order for the market to break FOMC high. So if I can see some early leadership out of semiconductors, that will make me more bullish. Why am I focusing on this one sector? Because I've seen this show before. I've seen this movie before. When the semiconductors have been lagging. And you see when they get that boost, then we'll have a bull trend day. We typically need semiconductors and technology, i.e. Apple, Microsoft, Google. We need them pulling the bull wagon in order for us to have a trend day. So I'm really looking for that today. Gold, we're still in that 12-hour megaphone. So it's here. I've drawn it for you. Y'all are probably sick of seeing it. There's the megaphone. And now we're stuck within that megaphone. So we just hit a 4-hour double bottom at 1824, 1825, resistance 1850. I can't do a lot with this. Where it is, we're in a weekly inside bar, and we have that inside bar. We know what to do. Oh man, gold would have been a good one to sell an iron condor too. Very, very range bound, right in the middle. Choppy as all get out. Look at this. It's really choppy. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, just all over the place. Those weekly inside bars are getting us. Oil, we have a 4-hour EQ, resistance 107.29, 111.16, support is at 102.32, 101.53. Oil inventory push to tomorrow. Heads up, push to tomorrow. We got a delay there, which is kind of interesting. I haven't seen that happen often, if ever. We have a 4-hour EQ, super tight on nat gas. You have support at 665, 657, resistance 693, 697. Inside bars are important to me because of tightening ranges. Let's go back to nat gas. So we're inside yesterday's range. Do you see that? Let me show you. Okay, so this was Tuesday. There's Tuesday, resistance 697, 655. All right, Wednesday, we stay within that range. Now look at what we're doing today. We're within that range. Do you see that? Do you see how tight that price action is? And then I zoom in and I say, whoa, we have a 4-hour EQ. Higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low, and we're stuck within this EQ. That tightening pattern, look at this compression. That orange means a really high compression down here. You see that? That our little Instapot, think of a can of Coke and you shake it, and then you pop the top, and then it has tons of explosion, volatility, follow through. I like inside bars. I'm an options trader primarily and a futures trader, but with options, I don't want to get too far. Actually, I'm going to show you. I don't care. I'm not even going to look at the time. Okay, do you see how flat those Bollinger Bands are? I don't use Bollinger Bands in my trading. I took them off a really long time ago because I understand the data they provide and I can see it within price action. And this is what I mean. Look at this tight EQ. Look how those Bollinger Bands have flatlined. Do you see that? That Bollinger Bands measure volatility. So it is flatlined. Price has compressed. I actually don't even need this squeeze down here to tell me price is compressed. That's why I like inside bars. And as an options trader, if I want to position myself within a squeeze or within an equilibrium, the volatility is not high. See, these Bollinger Bands are flat. When they start opening up, like right there, when it curls to the upside or to the downside, the volatility, implied volatility explodes and the premium explodes. I want to be positioning myself within EQs, not after the explosion, because I don't want to pay up for the options. So that's why I like to know when things are tight. That was a long answer to a simple question. So sorry. I'm sorry if this video is not meeting your needs. Apple, we keep getting these higher highs without a lot of follow through. I am watching for a potential rising wedge. Again, Apple did something that QQQ and SPY has not done. It got through that FOMC high. It got through it with no follow through. So I'm looking for top fish of 13776. If I'm wrong, I wait for a bust through. So if it can break that resistance, come down and do a 5-minute trend change to the downside. Oh, thank you, Ed. Then I may look to short Apple. But these are my 4 regulars. Doesn't mean I see a clear setup in them. Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla. I just go over them because everyone asks every single day. But I'm just seeing these higher highs without a lot of follow through. I think Amazon's a top fish. I think Nvidia, look at this standard rising wedge. We can get over that 170 one more time without follow through. Do you see how that's a rising wedge setup, which also could be a bear flag? Tesla, I think I drew this on the 2 hour. Yep, on the 2 hour. We have rising wedge action in Tesla. I see it on all of my big charts. So that tells me stay patient as a bull and then watch for bear opportunities. Oh, Derek, thank you. Dropping dimes, you said it best, bud. Lots of potential top fish setups today off of the high of yesterday. Yes, sirree. Okay, Lucid. I like Lucid because this has a tight pattern. We have our high, low, lower high, higher low. So if the market is bullish, so let me choose my words carefully. If the market is bullish, I would be looking to play this long. If the market opens sideways, I back away from this idea. If the market gets toppy early on, I start seeing bear signals, I top fish this. Does that make sense? So we're going sideways and I would play it in the direction of the market. It's a nice, neat equilibrium. PLTR, top fish city. Okay, someone in the chat room. I do not have my own channel. We have that in the works. It's on our oh, thank you, Mary. It is on our board. It's on our vision board. I may be getting a channel. We don't know yet. Okay, someone asked me in the room this morning, let me show you. They ask. Right here. Beginner questions. Lori, yesterday you chose Neo for top fish and used high of previous day as area to scout. How did you choose that level? So the high of yesterday versus daily resistance. This is a great example of this. Okay, so this is the most important resistance right there. But I don't want to miss this trade. 942 is the most important resistance. The high of yesterday, bullish engulfing, not confirmed yet. This is the second most important. So I'm going to choose the resistance closest to me, which is 929. If price pauses and bear volume upticks, then I will look for a short on PLTR. If price blows through 929, then I'm going to be watching 942. If price blows through 942, I take this off my screen and I move to the next name. That's how I choose the levels that I short or go long, is I'm looking for close proximity. Yesterday's high of yesterday, dropping dimes said it best, high of yesterday is a great level to start. And that's my fishing hole. And my fishing pole goes in and I don't hook anything if we don't get a 5-minute downtrend and we don't get an uptick in bear volume. Hey, Don Franz Show. Yeah, Charting Man Dan. So Chart Guys, I'm a partner at the Chart Guys with Dan and Jason. So I'm a chart gal. But yes, it's mainly Dan does our market cap videos, recap videos every day. And I do the pregame show every morning. Thank you for being here. And I hope you're finding some value in this content. Okay, on Qualcomm. So I'm picking on the semis. You see I did a little heart there, because I'm waiting for them to get their life together. We have a potential Adam and Eve reversal, resistance 12612. You want to see a break over that to potentially go long Qualcomm. So I'm picking on the semiconductors. SMH has this potential 4-hour inverse head and shoulders. Got to get over to 1431 in order to confirm. We need semiconductors. Market bulls want to see semiconductors run and Qualcomm run. And Roblox, whoever asked me about that, thank you. This is a great short setup. Running into the 4-hour, 200 MA. Running into the daily, 50 MA. Nice, clear. Top fishing, $32. I love it. Oh, Plan X, that's nice. That's very nice. Okay. We have a few minutes before Denzi goes live in our chat room. So I will answer one or two chart requests. So this is what? So Denzi will be live. She posts the link here and we go live every morning, midday, and afternoon. Oh, good. And Godfrey, I'm glad you like that. I like to sell premium too. And I think I personally missed the opportunity with gold. I just did not put it together. This inside bar right in the middle of that range. Market's getting a little bounce here. That's wrong. Again. See where we are. Yeah, we are right at, look at that. So 50% of last week's range. So the high of last week of 172.77, the low 168.30, we are literally at the 50% retrace. We're right in the middle on GLD. And that makes selling gold premium make sense. So I would probably do a butterfly, possibly an iron condor, but an iron butterfly, sell those call spread out the money, and then sell the put spread slightly out the money. Matic. Oh, okay. No wonder I couldn't figure that one out. VNTC. No problem. It happens. That looks good. But I'm getting my bearings on this chart, okay? So the first thing I want to tell myself is this daily is in a downtrend. You see that? We're in a downtrend. Typically, when hourly is overbought, that's a good place to look for a top fish for the daily lower high. Let me say it again. When we're in a daily downtrend and hourly starts bouncing and it gets overbought, that's typically a good place to go scouting. That's a fishing hole to go scouting a daily lower high. Well, we are hourly overbought with a double top. I would short 52 cents. But I would want to, you see these upper wicks of profit taking here? Those are topping candles. Yeah. Oh, this is ideal. Thank you for asking me about it. I would top fish and I would use either 0.512 or 52 cents as my stop. Do y'all see that? Classic. Look at that diamond pattern. Diamond bearish reversal pattern on the 10-minute here with looking for a daily lower high with hourly overbought. Check, please. Yes, yes, yes. You're welcome. Chris, you're welcome. Ravage, I went over inside bars earlier. You can go back and look at it. This will be the last one. They want to look at BNB. Well, that worked out whenever I drew that rising wedge. Okay. This daily uptrend is really not clear. Those are not clear pivots. You have resistance at 237 and you hit 231. 8 EMA suppressing price. 4-hour topping candles. Hourly bearish reversal candle. Yeah, I'd be looking to top fish 22850 and use 232 as my stop. You're welcome. Oh gosh, y'all asked nice. I said that was the last one. Okay, ADA. Daily inside bar, yesterday's range, high of 48 cents, low of 0.455. 4-hour downtrend, we've got a triple, quadruple top here at 476. They can't get through 476. 1 hour looks like a rising wedge, higher highs, a lot of follow through. I'd short that. Man, did I say short everything today? My word. You're welcome. Y'all hit that like button before you hit the exit door. Give me a follow on Twitter at ChartGallery. And it's chart with no S because we got some imposters out there. Chartguys.com. Check us out and see what we do. I'm going to go listen to Denzi and get this day started. I hope you have a wonderful day. Use stop losses.